Hi there, thanks for tuning back in with me, Pip, or as you might know me better, Deadly Poison 93. I'm here today to talk to you about the PSN games that have come out this January and the two ones that are for PS4. Okay, so first off, we've got Batman. Now, it's not any of the standard games like Arkham Knight, anything like that. It's the Telltale game, the first season, should I say, of the Telltale game for Batman. Now, one thing I do like is the fact it's not just the first episode or the first two episodes and you have to buy the rest. It is actually the full collection of season one, which means you can actually sit there, play them all, and actually enjoy it without thinking, oh, if I get into this, that's going to be another £10, £15 I've got to spend. Now, I always love the Telltale games because I've always been really invested in visual novels in general. And to me, that is the predominant premise of most of the Telltale games. Obviously, as they've advanced, they have got a lot more like action events in and quick time events, especially the Batman ones, in my opinion, and Guardians of the Galaxy more so than the others. But I do absolutely adore them. I think the choices that they give you and the effect that they can have on the game is great. In the Batman game, I do really like it because it goes into the true origins of Batman, in my opinion. So it's not just Batman and the Joker, or Batman and the Joker, or Batman and the Joker, which is all it seems to be lately. Or more recently, Harley Quinn. Harley Quinn. Oh yeah, Batman. Harley Quinn. But it is a lot more detailed, a lot more in depth. So you've got Lady Arkham, you've got Harvey Dent, and obviously who he may or may not become, spoilers or maybe spoilers, depending on if people actually know Batman or not. We've got Cobblepot, we've got the Penguin, we've got the Wayne family. And that is one of the bits that I love about this. Without giving away any spoilers, this season of Telltale's Batman is amazing, purely for the fact of what it goes into with the Wayne family itself. And no, I don't mean like in every film and in every other game, where it harps on about his horrible, sad past, that his parents got murdered as he was a child. I mean their actual past, like what happened before he was born, how they lived, where they got their money from, how they became who they were and who they really were. And that's one thing I love, alongside the fact that Albert's always there and I absolutely adore him. But it's done so well, and it's done in a way that, to me anyway, I feel like I'm reading the comics again like when I was young. And that's what I love about this. So for me, this game is the only real winner on this list. Okay, so next up for the PlayStation Plus games on PSN this month, we've got Deus Ex. That's Deus Ex Mankind Divided, of course, because that's the only one that came out for Xbox One and PS3. Not PS3, I've said that. PS4. That didn't come out on PS3 or Xbox 360. You know what I mean? Basically, it's the other game that's come out this month for PlayStation Plus. That's free. I don't know. I've never been 100% on the Deus Ex franchise in general, if I'm being honest. One of my main bugbears with the game is the inventory size or lack of. But ignoring that, the actual storyline, if you've not played it before, is kind of as it says in the title. It is Mankind Divided. There's, in a way, a cybernetic apartheid. There's segregation of people who've got biotic hardware or people who've got these cybernetic enhancements, whether they wanted them there or not. And obviously, they're real people. They're all humans. They're 100% mankind. And that's what it means when it says Mankind Divided. Now, the first game was called Human Revolution, which is also a fitting title because it is the revolution of humankind and mankind in general. Just because someone has got these enhancements, does that mean they're not human anymore? It always reminds me of a game that I adore, and that's Mass Effect. The way that you've got biotics in Vanguard, and that some people are more enhanced than others. And there is that stigma of, because you've got something extra, something different, you're not human anymore. Like X-Men with the mutants. It doesn't stop them from being human, it just makes them special, it makes them different. In this game, Deus Ex Mankind Divided is about that. Adam Jensen, who's the main character, the protagonist, is on his way not only finding out what's going on in the current world and where he stands and what to do with this revolution in mind, he's also trying to find out more about himself, his own story, and how he's become to be who he is. Without dropping any spoilers, there is a main part of the game which, to be honest, is told to you in the first couple of minutes as well as on the back of the game. And that is the fact that he is, of course, cybernetically enhanced, as you'll know if you have played the first one, but it is quite obvious just from looking at the character if you haven't. But it is actually the fact that he's got additional enhancements that he himself isn't aware of. So it's also the aspect of tracking that down and finding out what's going on. It is like an action-adventure style game. There is a lot of stealth in it, which is one of the reasons why I'm not a fan, but that's because I'm terrible at stealth. And yeah, I'm just awful. So I feel that's probably why. But it has been a well-received game. For example, my partner adores it. He's got it on Xbox One, and he's also been playing it on PlayStation. So there's two sides to every coin. But that's the other game that's free this month. To me, Batman Telltale is definitely worth the money over Deus Ex. But at the end of the day, they're free. They're both worth playing. But for me, it's Batman. Right, so on to games with gold. So these are the free games on Xbox. I am only going into the free Xbox One games on Xbox. Otherwise, I feel I'd be here all day. This month, I'm really disappointed. I know I said something similar about the PlayStation ones, but at least the PlayStation ones, in my opinion, are decently playable, especially the Telltale Batman. No, I'm just not impressed at all. The PlayStation lately, I've definitely been taking over in regards to free monthly games, and the games they've given are better, in my opinion. The only thing that gives Xbox the edge is the fact that, of course, if you stop your Xbox Gold membership, you can still play the games. Whereas, obviously, with PlayStation Plus, if you stop the membership, the PlayStation Plus games in your library are unplayable until you reactivate PlayStation Plus, which I personally have never been a huge fan of. But swings and roundabouts, I guess. Better games, but you have to be online with PlayStation, or get to play them all the time, but they're not necessarily good. The two PlayStation games that I've already spoke about both came out in 2016, so realistically they're not that old in gaming terms. But when you look at the games with gold, the one I'm on about at the moment, for example, Zombi, which you'll know is originally a Wii U title, that came out in 2012. So we're definitely going back a bit more in comparison and obviously volume. Talking about the game itself, Zombi, it is an okay game. I'm not 100% on it. If I pick zombie games, I'm always going to go for things like Left 4 Dead or Deadlight or something along those lines. I wouldn't necessarily pick this one up myself. I have played it, I've given it a go. Some aspects are really fun. So I do really enjoy the fact there's almost like a permadeath in the game. The reason I say sort of permadeath is because it's not like a roguelike permadeath where you're dead and that's it, you're dead. It's you're dead, you're done, you're a new character, but if you can find your old corpse, you can loot the body for the same item, similar to in Dark Souls. If you die, you can pick up the souls and things like that, if you get there in time and don't die again. It is, at times it can be quite gripping and quite intense, and you do want to know what's happening, which does add a bit more value to it. It's not as dull and boring and repetitive as it comes across as at the first bit of the game, at least in my opinion. It's set in like the last blight, like a horror survival game. You can craft items. I didn't get to do much because, like I said, I didn't play it for that long, if I'm being completely honest. For now, it could ramp up and get a lot more interesting. But I played quite a decent number of hours, got about halfway through the game, and for me that was kind of enough. In terms of the crafting aspect and the items that you pick up throughout the game, you've kind of got like a bug out bag that you keep on you, and that's what, if you do die, your next incarnation of yourself can go and pick up. But if I'm honest, that's pretty much it. There's not really much else to it. It is just your standard survival horror zombie game, and that's why I'm not overly in breath. Okay, so on to the last free game of the month, and like I said, games with gold that we're on at the moment for Xbox One, it was The Incredible Adventures of Van Helsing 3. So I've never been 100% with these games. They always give me a feeling, because they're a gothic noir style RPG. Whenever I play them or get into them a little bit, it always makes me yearn for Castlevania, and then I drop that and go straight to playing Castlevania and don't really go back to it. To be honest, out of all the Incredible Adventures of Van Helsing games I've played, this is actually the best one. So the fact that it's free is decent. It is a decent game. You can put quite a lot of hours into it. There's not a lot to say on this one. Personally, I would recommend playing the other games first, just because the storyline does carry on. For example, in this one, without spoiling anything, a former ally becomes your arch nemesis, and that's the main goal. Well, in my opinion, the main goal of the game is trying to hunt down this arch villain who used to be an ally, find out what's happened, find out the storyline behind that. The enemies that you fight as well do seem to be predominantly like horde mode style things, but there is also like a PvP aspect if you do want to expand on it. But if I'm honest, I don't have a lot to say about it. It's not a very strong game in comparison to the ones that PlayStation, well, in comparison to one of the ones that PlayStation have brought out. I think all in all, this month has been quite weak in regards to free games, and fingers crossed next month will be a bit better. So bring on February. Sorry it's not been that upbeat of a video. As I say, I know it is just my opinion. For all I know, I could be telling you this, and these could be 4 games that you're absolutely chuffed with and can't wait to play. But for me, for PlayStation, it's definitely Batman. For Xbox, if I had to pick between the two, I would go with Zombi, just because it is quite fun, and like I say, I do like the permadeath aspect. It makes it a bit more intense, a bit more of a struggle, and I like that. Whereas, I don't know, Deus Ex, like I said, I've never been a fan of, and Incredible Adventures of Van Helsing 3, although it is an okay game, the fact that, for me anyway, the storyline is quite a big aspect. I would say that you need to play the other games first, so the fact that the third one is the free one isn't that ideal in my opinion. But that's just me. Hopefully you guys enjoy them regardless, and I hope to see you back here soon. Thank you ever so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video, guys. Bye.